With the right resources at the right time, people can now save a life through 3D printing organs for a transplant. We can put a man on the moon, satellites in space, and a GPS in your pocket. The right resources at the right time make all the difference. In fact, it's no overstatement to say the combination of the right resources at the right time can change the world. At Train International, we want to do more than change the world. We want to partner with God to redeem it. That means putting the right training, the right resources at the right time in the hands of those who will take the good news to the ends of the earth. If we at Train International can be a part of putting the right training and resources in your hands, we would count it a privilege.
Abide for me was really a hand extended and saying that I need help in processing all of this. I don't have the tools to do that on my own.
They know exactly what we're going through. They feel the hurt that we feel. They have the hope that we can't necessarily see right now. Without this week, I'm not sure if I would have ever seen some of that stuff. They've loved us so well.
It has been challenging and just what we needed.
Without Orient and without that training that I went through, I would have been in a very, very bad place very quickly. It's been something that's been incredibly encouraging and healing and validating in a way to be surrounded by a community.
The opportunity to come and process through some of that and debrief that experience as the uncertainties continued seemed timely. It was a God thing for sure.
Train International has done an amazing job of putting it together. It's well organized, it's well done, and it's done with such a heart of love and compassion.
Transition is a reality for all of us, whether it's leaving a job or moving to a new place or even exiting a season of life. Transition impacts us all deeply. And for global workers, they don't just interact with or engage with transition, they live their lives in transition. From calling to training to relocating and everything in between, they spend the bulk of their time navigating these changing landscapes, relationships, and expectations to explore what God is doing in a new place. And here's the reality. It is often the case that these global workers are left to navigate these transitions alone. Churches and sending organizations provide prayer, logistical, and financial support, but these workers are transitioning to a new place and among a new people, and the distance between them and their support systems can leave them isolated. And this can have an outsized impact on global workers. Roughly 70% of the time when a global worker transitions off the field, it's for preventable reasons. Conflict, loneliness, and isolation, and navigating a new culture and language, these are the things that leave global workers shell-shocked. Why? Because we weren't meant to navigate these kinds of transition alone. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if that's not the story we had to tell? What if instead of just surviving transition, global workers could thrive? What if they had access to a guide who could provide the support, encouragement, and accountability they need to transition well into whatever's next? What if they had somebody in their corner to provide the space for them to pause, pray, and make plans around what God is doing in them and around them? Train International's Thrive Coaching provides just that. Our professionally trained missions coaches can walk with you through the specifics of your situation and help you transition well into whatever's next.
On their own, the sun's rays will warm, but it's only when they're focused that they will burn. Coaching has functioned to focus what I'm bringing to the table, identify my next right thing, and to make meaningful progress toward it. Coaching has been a gift to me, not only ministry, but also personally and spiritually. If coaching seems like something that would help to focus your next right step, we would love to walk alongside you.
Coaching could be just what you need to thrive in this season. Book a consult today and explore with a member of our coaching team what coaching might be able to do for you.
Hi, I'm Brian Gibson, the Executive Director at Train International. Train helps the church and their cross-cultural workers to go prepared and stay effective, as together we extend the invitation for people to become the children of God. But right now, there's a big part of the story that needs changing. More than 300,000 churches and 1,000 sending organizations are coming alongside 400,000 global workers serving around the world. But we're seeing those global workers forced off the field for a number of startling reasons. When global workers go to the field and they want to stay and they're ripped off of the field 7 times out of 10, it's because of something that was preventable. When we hear in the news preventable disease or preventable death, we're compelled to do something because that word preventable means something could be done. And if we could, why wouldn't we? Research from Global Mapping International shows it's a $500,000 investment of kingdom resources to get a family prepped and ready and off to the field for a term. Worth every penny without a question. But here's where it stings. The research points to the reality that 50% of long-term workers leave the field within their first term and they never go back. This is often because they weren't able to master the language or adapt to the culture, or whatever the story may be. You flip a coin. One family stays on the field and we pray that they're effective, but the other goes home discouraged and demoralized. We can change that story. There's so much more at stake than just money. We're talking about stewarding people's lives, those who are being sent to bring the message and those who haven't even heard it yet. So in light of all of this, what is Train International doing? We've chosen strategically to engage in some crucial ways so we can change that story. Through our Access program, we're equipping churches to develop a strategy and a structure to carry out your mission. This means walking with your elders, staff, and missions team to help you hone in on what God is calling your church to do as you send and sustain global workers. Through our Orient pre-field training, we're equipping global workers to go prepared and stay effective. We're training them with tools and skills to last on the field and see fruit in what God has called them to. Adapting to culture, becoming stress resilient, resolving conflict, navigating transitions, culture shock, contextualization issues. These are some of the crucial elements that we speak into because we want to see these workers go prepared and stay effective. Through our TEL training, we're equipping God's people to make disciples of oral learners. We teach them to effectively engage refugees, immigrants, and international students in the U.S. and those being sent to the 6 billion oral preference learners around the world. We help them go prepared with the same strategies that Jesus used to reach the oral learners of his day. Through our Respire retreats, our team travels to meet global workers on the field, and we come alongside them to bring the right resources to the table at the right time so they can move forward in their ministry with hope and confidence. Train shows up on the field to help global workers stay effective. Through our Abide Reentry debriefing, we come alongside global workers and provide a safe space for them to process their experiences. That means helping them to steward the story God has given them so they can move forward with hope and momentum, staying effective in the next leg of their journey. These are just some of the ways Train is walking with churches, sending organizations, and global workers to go prepared and stay effective. It really would be our privilege, so will you let us walk alongside you?
Train International's Abide played a pretty powerful role in our coming off of the field and actually making it a very positive experience. We were pretty intimidated about coming off of the field and a lot of the what ifs, but being able to step away and have that retreat time actually gave us a very important flip in perspective. Being able to step away and not only have people to guide us through that knew and were able to tap in and help us process all of the things we were going through, and not only process but also help prepare for next steps and know what to expect whenever things came along, was so important to us. And not only that, but it also gave us a safe environment to do that, to be able to have unexpected emotions come up, and being able to talk through them in a safe place with other people that also had gone through similar things, being able to have camaraderie that week with other people who lived overseas. That fellowship was just as important as being able to learn the steps of transitioning off and learning what the transition bridge was and how to deal with culture shock on re-entry. It also gave something very unique to our family. It gave us vocabulary to talk about. The children's program was excellent. And what it did was it gave my husband and I the ability to be fully engaged in the adult program because we knew our kids were taken care of so well. And that evening, because they had coincided the topics of the adults and the children's programs, we actually had very important discussions as family. Even with young children, they took very deep concepts and complex things and fit them into very simple vocabulary like the yay and the yuck ducks, talking about paradox. And that's something that ever since Abide, which was well over a year ago, we still bring up. So it has turned into everyday topics. As a family, it has turned into part of our vocabulary to deal with what it means to be healthy, what it means to thrive, what it means to be able to go through very stressful situations and find ourselves come out of re-entry on the other side with a strong family and with grace to make mistakes and learn from what we've gone through. And Abide really played a crucial role in that.